Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Script is Better with your hosts, Rebecca and John. This week we are doing my choice, which is Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, written and directed by him as well. We do a lot of written and directed bys.
Recently we have, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is based on a novel by Elmore Leonard, so it is a little bit of an adaptation.
Yeah, I think it still has a lot of Quentin Tarantino's style, so it's still so quintessentially him. You
Yeah,
couldn't really tell, probably.
totally. What do
Yeah,
you think is Quentin Tarantino? Like, what is, okay, so a Quentin Tarantino movie has this. Like, one thing I would say is probably Blood and Guns.
yeah. After this movie, Samuel L. Jackson, not this one, but later on.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because I was like, I bet Ordell is Sam Jackson. I don't know who the cast is at all, but I was like, Ordell's got to be Sam Jackson, and that's how I read him.
Oh, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe it is. I hadn't even thought about that. It could be, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna assume Samuel L. Jackson's first role with Quentin Tarantino was Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting shots. I find he always puts together like unconventional shots and like time jumps, and there's some of that in this as well. And sticking like here's this character's story for a while, and then here's this character's story for a while, instead of like this is everyone's story at the same time.
Yeah, and like the slow burn, I think
Yeah.
yeah, this movie and most of his movies just have a slow start, but you're really getting to know the characters, so that it doesn't feel like it's taking a long time or you're wasting time. It just feels like we're getting to know these people and these events are fun, but nothing's really happening necessarily.
Okay, cool. So right on in. How did you feel about the script?
I liked the script. I found just reading it that there was much too much description for the characters starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the first few pages, the description that he had paled in comparison to the first bit of dialogue that any of them had. Right as soon as you hear them speak, you're just like, boom, I know who this character is. I don't need all this other backstory, all this other description of what they're wearing, how they're moving or anything. I know exactly who this person is just from what they're saying, that it felt like the description was just unnecessary and wasting my time.
Yeah. There's even like a page right near the beginning that's like almost the whole page is just description and like a screen time. I'm like, this would take 3 seconds for us to see, but this is eats up an entire page of describing what the characters look like and who they are. There is one point that I will say right on the first page, it's like the second line, where I thought I got so much from like just a short sentence. And this is the only time where about like introducing a character, he didn't say very much. And that was with Jackie Brown when he's like, then she steps into frame. Ugh, I feel like she commands a presence. I know that about this woman. I know that she's super important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so small and doesn't
Yeah.
even say her name in that. I was like, that's cool. I'm stealing it.
Nice, nice. Yeah. I liked lines, I think on the same page, probably he had the line, Jackie, she puts the ool in cool.
Okay, no, it's not even on the same line. I saw that line. Okay, and that bumped for me. I do really like the sentiment behind it,
Yeah.
but it comes in the middle of somebody else's speech, and it's not any action. It's just like, pause on this guy talking, just so you guys know. Jackie puts the ool in cool. Back to this guy.
Well, yeah, maybe she's just staying cool and despite the danger or the stakes that are happening at the time.
Okay.
But I more like it just because who's gonna put that in his description and all? Who's gonna
I
say that?
know.
Ool and cool. I don't know, you'd say that when? Back in the 50s or something? I don't the 60s, something like that. I guess this is set in the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
1997.
Okay, yeah, yeah. There was actually another bit of description that I liked. While acutely aware of the rhythm of life inside a correction facility, in the real world, his timing is thrown.
Yes.
And that was
There's
about Louis, I think, or
yeah.
Lewis. I'm not sure. I think it's Louis.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's so many lines that I picked up, like little lines like that gave a lot that I was like, oh, he has so much flair.
Hmm.
I like the line Ordell wears nice clothes and likes wearing nice clothes. I was
Mm.
like, yeah, of course he does. And then
Yeah,
at one point he said comes back out sans flight bag. I was like, why are you saying sans? But I like it.
yeah, yeah. It
I've
was a
read
lot of fun
the
stuff like that.
I've read the Kill Bill script too, and he does do other things like cool and cool in that too. In the fight between the main girl whose name I forget, and Black Mamba, he stops one of her dialogue and like just puts in parenthesis, "Oh, the ham."
I think that's smart and something that's maybe you have to be more experienced to get away with it, but I think anyone could benefit from it is that like as much as you want to follow the strict guidelines of writing a script, you also want to make a script engaging and fun for people to read because that'll keep their attention. That'll probably make for an engaging story in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we dove in a little bit to his writing style, which is such a pleasure to read. But yeah, in general, you said you liked it.
Yes, I do like the story. I like the characters of Jackie Brown. I like all the characters, I think. I'm just trying to like, I don't have a catalog of them all in my head, but I think they all were distinct and unique that I enjoyed them. Even when they were the bad guys. Like Ordell is in no way a good guy, but I just liked his character.
Yeah. All of them. I really liked all of them. Even Melanie. Melanie was kind of like a little bit useless to me. But I was like, she's my girl and really into her sass.
Yeah.
Really into her, like, I'm just going to get high and watch TV and then say biting things to you every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, yes, girl. Get it. Take this man's money and do what you want.
Totally. And I felt if Melanie just had a little more conviction or a little more oomph, she would have gotten away with everything. She would have gotten the money because I think she had a plan to take the money. And like, sure, other people were a step ahead of her along the way. But if she was just a little bit more cutthroat, she could have like taken care of Lewis instead of just like pestering him and getting killed as a result.
Yeah. Her commitment to staying sassy, like, literally killed her.
Yeah.
Like, if you would just shut up. But I guess you don't think that the guy who, like, you think is wrapped around your finger is going to come back and kill you.
Yeah, for sure. It was one of those things where she pushed him to the edge, and then he tells her, like, one more word, I'm going to kill you. And I think she says, like, okay, or something innocuous. She wasn't taunting him.
Yeah, she's like, okay, Lewis.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's it. I said one more word, so.
You're done.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I know I agree with everything you said. I really enjoyed the script. It was such a fun read and it was so breezy. Like I saw the 147 pages as pretty intimidating, but then it was actually really easy to get through. Such a page turner for me. This is a question that we don't normally say, but did you see, in terms of story, were you surprised by all of the moves?
Surprised? I don't think I was surprised at all by any of the moves. And potentially that's because it was just written so clearly. But it felt that everything... I never felt like I was behind anyone. Like, it all just seemed to make sense. Like, Jackie Brown at the end, you could tell she was double-crossing. And so she was depending on Max for help, and Max helped her. And it all came off well in the end. Yeah. The only thing that didn't work out in her plan was the person she wanted to come take care of Ordell didn't come, and she couldn't get in contact with, so she had to contact someone else, the other cop.
Nicolette and the other guy? Really?
Yeah. I think she wanted. Is it Nicolette and Harding?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted Nicolette and she got Harding because Nicolette was passed out.
Oh, right. Didn't answer his phone. That's what that scene was. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. What about you? Did you find that you kind of were surprised by a couple of things?
No, I didn't exactly know how the switches were going to go off successfully. Like when she left the store dressed in the suit and then ran out and started yelling for help, I was like, ooh, I think this is going against plan. I didn't know that it was actually part of the plan. So when that all panned out, that surprised me. But I wrote down at page 101, I'm like, the movie's called Jackie Brown. There's no way she doesn't end up with the money. For sure she gets the money, and I'm sure she has it just on her own, and she doesn't share it with anyone.
Right, yeah. Well, she offered to share it with Max, but
yeah.
he turned it down.
Yeah, which I think is nice because it goes against Ordell's all bail bondsmen are sharks.
Yeah, he was just a good guy. He helped somebody he was obviously attracted to out, and then he's getting out of the game.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the only thing that surprised me was actually Lewis killing Melanie.
Yeah.
I was like, sure, she's pestering this guy, but it's never going to get to the point where he shoots her, and then bang, he shoots her.
I think you need like at least 2 of those in the movie. And the Beaumont killing wasn't enough.
Right. Right. I think the one thing I brushed up against was that everyone just seemed a little bit too trusting in the story. Like maybe especially Ordell. He had these women that he thought were under his thumb, and he trusted all of them to take care of things. And sure, he claimed to not trust them and be ready for anything, but he wasn't. He clearly was like, he just this one random old crack addicted woman that
Oh yeah, Rachel.
yeah, he has her coming to get the money, and she like instantly runs off with money, like just instantly.
Oh
And
no,
then,
that's Simone. Yeah,
that's Simone. Okay, yeah, Simone,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, Rachel was fine. She was from like the South, and
Nope, that's
she was.
Sharonda.
Oh, Sharonda. Who is Rachel
Rachel's the person whose house he goes to.
at the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't betray him.
No.
She's just like she's
But
barely mentioned, right? He's just in
yeah.
her place. Yeah. And then he's as much as he has a back and forth with Jackie and she plays him, but he also trusts her too much.
Yeah.
Like this is all your money. Like sure you have the guns back here that you're going to sell for another $500,000, but you're trusting her with $500,000. This person who you know is caught by the feds, and you're just taking her word that she's on your side and she's playing the feds and not you.
Yeah, and really, if he wanted to kill her, like, I feel like he could have at any moment. I know that Jackie's confidence that he wouldn't was that she was the only one who could go get his money.
Mm.
But I'm sure he could have figured that out. He figured it out with her the first time.
Yeah, exactly. He could have set something else up,
Yeah.
which probably would have been smarter because he could have done that with somebody that the feds don't know, somebody
Yeah.
new, and somebody who he could have tricked in a way that they go and make this exchange and they don't even know what they're bringing back.
Yeah.
But instead he goes with tried and trusted Jackie Brown, and he gets played for it.
Good for her.
Yeah, no, she deserves it. She played him. She played everyone. She was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Max obviously saw cold-bloodedness in her at the end that he was wary of, at least.
But I find that she didn't use, like, it was nice that she didn't use her sexuality for any of it.
No,
Like,
for sure.
men did find her alluring, but she never, like, was like, here's my body, this is why I control you.
No, yeah, exactly, not at all. And with Max, they had, like, a thing. Like, clearly he was attracted to her, but she was never using that to her advantage, as far as I could tell. She was just like, this is a person, we have a partnership, and she was probably attracted to him as well, but they were separate things.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite scene on the page? I guess that would be the same scene that you're most excited to see come on screen.
What I'm excited to see, and I don't know if it's going to be my favorite, I think I might actually dislike it, is at the end they replay the exact same scene over and over from different people's perspectives, and I appreciate that. I like that convention in some films, but I didn't see the point of it in this film. We could have just seen things linearly following each different character as events happened. I think it would have been fine. And so I'm interested to see how or if this comes across well on the screen.
Okay.
What about you? What are you looking forward to the most? What's your favorite scene so far?
I think it's just everything with Melanie. Like, I really like her.
Yeah, the surfer girl.
I really enjoy the surfer girl. I get why Ordell has a soft spot for her, because I do too.
Nice.
I just love so much her sass. I love it.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I mean, this is an odd question, but are you happy with her death in that case? Like, obviously not happy that she died, but are you happy that, like, she was willing to be the sass right into the end, and, like, sure, she got her killed, but she was staying true to herself?
I feel like I wanted her to be just like a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit smarter. You are talking to a convict. Sure, it's because Lewis, he was in prison for a robbery, like, gone wrong, but still, don't piss off somebody with a gun.
And read people a bit better than you did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Ordell, clearly after she tried to get him to betray Ordell, when she started dropping hints about that, asking him if he'd be willing to do that, he was put off by that.
Yeah.
And so, like, understand that this is a person that isn't going to be on your side, and maybe you should just be a little bit more careful around him. But hey, Ordell killed Lewis for it. I mean, more for the money, to be honest, but I don't think he was happy about Melanie's death either.
No? I guess it happens at the same time, so it's hard to, like, differentiate the two, but I felt like she, even though earlier he was like, I can't let go of her because she's my surfer girl, I still felt like she died, and he was like, oh well.
Yeah, I'd like to see that played out on screen. I'd like to see how he acts that.
Yeah, if he has a moment. So you don't know any of the actors who are in this either, right?
No. Okay, I've seen Jackie Brown. I've seen a shot of her, at least.
Okay.
So I know I've seen her face. I know I've seen her entire body. I've seen who this person is, but I don't remember. And so I don't know who the actor is. I don't know who the actors are playing the other characters. I don't know who Tarantino is going to be. I just don't
know. I guess he can't be... Is it Winston? Because Winston's a really big guy, isn't he?
Isn't Winston black?
Right. Winston is black.
Yeah.
Who could he be?
Yeah, I feel like the cops have too big a role. So he won't be any of those. And Lewis has too big a role, too.
Maybe he won't be in it.
Maybe not.
One thing I will say about this script is that I feel like I learned a lot from reading this script. There are so many things that I highlighted and I just put notes to myself being like, remember this so that when you write your stuff, you can use this in your script. It really felt like a lesson, and I would recommend anyone, or everyone rather, to read this script because it's fantastic.
Nice.
Opposite to that, there's so many typos in it, which I thought was interesting too. There were some sentences I didn't understand. And then I was like, oh, it's because it's a typo.
Yeah. That must have been Tarantino. Like, I could see Tarantino just typing furiously and not editing.
Yeah.
At least not for spelling, and not knowing a lot about grammar and spelling.
You think?
Maybe.
Oh, I feel like he must. Really?
Maybe.
Oh, he has to know about that sort of stuff, especially because his description is so prose-like.
That's true.
Written, I feel like it sounds cool. But, like, despite all those typos, he obviously shows, like, that he's an expert in not only, like, script writing, but also just in freaking English. Because there's lines like, spend the rest of my life spending. I just loved how book-ended that was, and it was almost like, maybe like an onomatopoeia a little bit, or like even a palindrome kind of thing, just ending, or starting and ending the sentence with the same kind of word, which I really appreciated. There were a bunch of things throughout the script where it just like sounded pretty.
Yeah. The reason I kind of assume that he hasn't studied English much is because I always picture him as just like always watching movies and reading a lot of scripts, not necessarily reading books. But honestly, that's just an assumption on my part. I don't know what he's done. I don't even know what his education is.
I'm sure he went to film school, and I'm positive he at least read this book.
This book, Jackie Brown. Okay. I'm just like, are you holding a book up?
It would all be assumptions for me too, but he seems like a California guy who like went to film school and then got a camera and like made his movie and was like, cool. And then everyone was like, you're a genius.
So yeah, he lived his life on Easy Street.
Oh, now I don't know what I'm saying. He's great. It's great. I love it.
No worries either way.
I just watched the movie. Yeah. So let's go to it then.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, it's question time. And this time, it's for you. So, I don't know if the people out there know this, but Jon is or has been, at least throughout his life, an avid video game player. Damn. There have been some movies made into video games. Jon, which video game that has yet been made into a movie would you like to see made into a movie?
Okay. Well, can I just say that Mortal Kombat is the best video game to movie adaptation? That aside...
But not the second one, just the first one?
Oh, just the first one, exactly. The recent Sonic movie was actually pretty good, too. And it had Ben Schwartz, who is always a joy.
So fun.
And Jim Carrey was good, too, as Dr. Robotnik. Anyway, those are existing video game movies. That's not the question. You want me to tell you what video game I'd like to be a movie? And I almost had an answer, and I just realized that Wari was a movie too. I would say, I mean, if it was going to be done well, the obvious answer for me is Zelda.
Ooh,
I'd love that to be turned into a movie.
like a live action movie.
You know what? I think it would be they would do it better as a cartoon, but yes, I wanted a live action movie. I don't think I think they'll spend too much money on effects, and the story will probably be shit, and so it'll turn out bad. A movie that they're working on right now, and it's been like in production forever, and they keep putting new writers on it and getting new actors on it, is Uncharted. It's fine because those games should translate to movies so easily. They are Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's Drake or something, right? Drake Uncharted. Yeah.
Exactly. Nathan Drake. I don't know how much you know about these video games, Beck, but they have great characters across the board. Like they are basically movies already, and like the male characters, great. Female characters, great. They all have great moments. They all change and grow as the stories progress. And there's 4 main titles and 1 handheld. Just great characters. Like it should be so easy just to be like, okay, we got this video game. Let's make a movie out of it. But they do stupid things like let's put Marky Mark in the film as Nathan Drake and do a family comedy, or not comedy, but like a family adventure thing where like it's him and the old man and the wife and everything. And it's like, why are you doing this? Like it's such a simple story that you already have in the games.
Right.
Yeah.
It always just from the commercials that I saw about it back when I watched commercials, I was like, oh, this is like Tomb Raider but a dude.
Exactly. 100%. It's Tomb Raider. It's Tomb Raider. It's Indiana Jones. There's nothing complicated in that way. Those commercials were fun. When they came out with Uncharted 2, they had a dumb commercial where it would be like, your girlfriend won't even know you're playing a game. And they're trying to imply like, oh, it's just a movie we're watching.
Hilarious. I just like to hold this controller in my hand for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah. So those should obviously be transferred, but I think like just the fan in me, I love fantasy. I think so many people would agree with me that we just want to see a really good Legend of Zelda movie. But yeah.
Do you know who would play, like, if it was a live action, let's say, who, like, he's younger, right? Like
he
Link
is
younger?
Yeah. You know what the Japanese are kind of, I don't know if they're known for it, but they definitely always have younger heroes. Like it'll be like this 16-year-old's going across the world to see like everything and save the world, like fight this epic evil that's been around for billions of years. It's always a young kid for sure.
Maybe they go like Ben Affleck Batman on it and just make like Link in the future.
Oh, I mean, Beck, there's one game, Ocarina of Time, Nintendo 64, where Link travels from being a kid to an adult.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and he travels back and forth. I think they would just work better as cartoon movies. Yeah. Especially since I wouldn't want to see an actor, especially if they had a well-known actor in the role. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm looking at Ben Affleck. I know you're not suggesting like be Ben Affleck as Zelda, or as Link. Oh, that's gonna get me in trouble. But yeah, it'd have to be an unknown actor, kind of a la Aladdin.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a movie like I didn't see the movie. I recently watched on YouTube some of the songs. I'm like, this is better than I thought it was going to be. Maybe I'll give it a chance.
It's so good.
Okay.
Definitely give it a chance. Okay, sweet. Back to the movie. Okay, guys, we did the thing that we said we were going to do. We watched Jackie Brown, and now we're back to talk about it. So, John, what were your initial thoughts on Jackie Brown?
I enjoyed Jackie Brown, for sure. I felt that I saw a lot of Quentin Tarantino in it without actually seeing Quentin Tarantino.
He wasn't in it.
No, he wasn't in it. I guess he hasn't been in most of his films. I think he's probably only been in 2, and we just made that up.
Okay.
Yeah, but since then he hasn't been in any of his films, right? He was in Pulp Fiction and he was in Reservoir Dogs, but I don't think he's been in any others.
Okay, Those are the 2 that, like, when you say Quentin Tarantino, you're like, those movies.
When you say Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Yeah, that's generally how I say it too. I didn't realize that this movie came out after those two. And so it was a pleasant surprise to find some big name actors. I was surprised to find Michael Keaton in there.
Huge.
Yeah, as a well, I think he's resurged as a huge guy again now. Was he then? This was like late
Batman?
90s, right? Yeah, but Batman was early, it was late 80s, early 90s, and
But
Beetlejuice
everyone.
was something like the same.
Yeah, but did people hate him after that?
Well, I don't know if they hated him, but I think he didn't do movies for a while. Like he was Jack Frost in that one movie.
I was
think it
gonna bring that up too.
yeah, and then he kind of like disappeared. I
Oh.
think that this might have been like the tail end of like his popularity for a bit, and then he came back with Birdman.
So just according to IMDb, he went nowhere. He was here the whole time.
Yeah, they always are, right? But no one ever notices
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what big things. I mean, you're right. Jack Frost was like the big one.
Oh, it was so big. Everyone saw Jack Frost.
I mean, Michael Keaton as a snowman, pretty funny. Really great.
9 on 10.
He was in Herbie Fully Loaded, right? Yeah, everyone's excited about that one.
He probably played Lindsay Lohan's dad, didn't he?
He must have. That would make sense. And RoboCop?
He was in RoboCop? The remake?
Yes. He was Raymond Sellers.
I definitely saw that movie. I don't remember him being in it. That's cool.
Oh. And lots of other things that I have never heard of. But I'm sure are fantastic because the things that he is in are great, like Herbie Fully Loaded.
Yeah, of course, yeah. This indie film, Spider-Man, that he was once in.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah!
But that was after Birdman.
Yeah. Forgot about that. Okay, so is that the only casting thing that you were excited about, Michael Keaton?
I was excited about Michael Keaton because I just love Batman, and he is Batman for me more than any other Batman. And then, I mean, when I saw Sam Jackson, I was like, fuck, Beck was right.
You're mad about it.
I was mad about it, yeah. I thought, there's no way Sam Jackson is Ordell. It's true. I mean, it's totally Sam Jackson. And then, I mean, De Niro was a surprise, of course.
Yeah.
And then I can't think of anyone else surprising me. The rest were, I don't know, as big actors. Like, I feel bad. I didn't know. I think it's Pam. What's the name of?
Yep. Pam Grier.
Pam Grier. Yeah, I did remember the name. Okay. So she's definitely famous for black exploitation movies, and Quentin Tarantino loves those films, and so I'm not surprised that he would want this person in it. And she's done some other great things as well. I think she's in some Eddie Murphy movies too.
Oh yeah?
I definitely looked up some films that she was in.
I just know her from The L Word, which I've been like railing on recently.
Oh, I've never
TV
heard
show.
of the L Word.
Fair. The L Word is lesbian. So.
Oh, okay. I've never heard the word lesbian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It means heterosexual.
The L Word means heterosexual?
Yeah.
Oh, lesbian means L. I see. Well, and she's one of the stars?
Yeah, she's like a soul singer and one of the only straight characters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so another person in casting, though, Chris Tucker, right? As Beaumont? That was surprising for me.
Chris Tucker as Beaumont.
Yeah.
Who's Chris Tucker?
Beaumont.
Who's Beaumont? No, but who's Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker.
Oh, Chris Tucker. Oh, yes. No,
Rush
for sure.
Hour?
That was surprising for me as well. Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I was surprised about that as well. Especially that was a small role and he did a great job. I was disappointed because in the script, it specifically says he wears a Queen Latifah shirt and he was not wearing a Queen Latifah shirt. And so that disappointed me.
Our first movie script difference. Okay, T-shirt. Way to notice that. Holy.
I noticed it in the script. I just know Queen Latifah from certain films. She was in Chicago, and I know she was on some like, I think like, is primetime the right word? Just like these half-hour comedy shows back in like the 90s and I think the 2000s. But I feel like there's this career that Queen Latifah has had that I don't even know of that made her really, really popular.
Well, he would have a Queen Latifah T-shirt based off of her singing career, and she was
I
very
did not
popular.
know she was a singer.
Yeah, she's like a rapper.
There you go. See, there's this entire career I did not know about. This is my ignorance.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I also really liked Bridget Fonda's Melanie. She was great as well.
Yes, for sure. And I also looked her name up as well. I'm like, I'd never seen her in anything else, but I know she's famous. So
That's not true. You've seen Lake Placid, because that's a
have I
brilliant
seen Lake Placid? Yes, I have, the alligator movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember being okay with that movie.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it so much. Even though that podcast, How Did This Get Made, railed on it, I freaking think it's just a beautiful film. It's just a masterpiece.
It has Betty White in it too.
She's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, last celebrity appearance was Raptors Bag. I was really happy to see the Raptors Bag.
A little bit of Canadiana in there.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I was like, who's a fan of the Raptors? Is Quentin Tarantino?
Right? That was
Yeah.
so random.
Or is that a Ordell, little piece of Ordell? This is who the character is. He loves the Raptors, even though he lives in California, I think.
Yeah, they do. In Compton. So I feel like that has to be Samuel L. Jackson doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't written into the script. And he specifically like holds it up and is like, my Raptor bag.
Yeah.
Like, you could just say my bag.
Yeah.
He went out of his way to say it, so I thought that was like a character choice. Just like him being like, I need a purple lightsaber, you know? I need a purple dinosaur or a red
maybe
dinosaur.
he just really likes purple.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that all came from your initial thoughts of the movie.
Yeah, I think honestly, and that's the thing, like I enjoyed the film in general, but I think I was more excited about the actors in the film than the actual film in the end.
Okay. Interesting. I very much enjoyed the film as well. Yes, for the performances, but also for his like shot composition and for the story and how it was like a woman being a boss, you know, just like playing everybody.
Yeah.
She had so many balls in the air and she just killed it. And I loved that.
It was great. It started off well with a shot of her. They really stayed on that shot for a long time when I think she's standing on one of those moving walkways in the airport, and it's just playing the music, and it's just like focused on her for, I think, in the full length of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that a few times with her. They just stay on her for a long time. The second time was her running through the terminal to get to her terminal. Sorry, to get to her gate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Follow her like walking at first, and then she starts to run to get there, but that's also a very long time, and that's like the scene after the moving walkway. And then after the heist in, I guess it's a heist, maybe not a heist, the money swap in the mall at the end, the second time that they do it, when she's running through the mall to get Ray's attention. I thought she just ran out of the store and said Ray, like outside the store in the script. But this, she like runs through the mall for a long time.
Like the entire mall.
She goes through the entire mall.
I think she went down escalators, up other escalators. She just went everywhere.
Yeah.
Which feels a little weird because you would think that there would have been cops following the money in the bag the entire time, but she had to run back to the food court to get to him.
And she couldn't even find him. She just like stops, gives up, and is like, Ray!
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's hiding. You were never going to find him anyways.
Yeah. And then there's the final shot, too, where she's maybe driving.
After she's got the money and she takes it out, she says goodbye to Max.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the last shot.
Yeah. He does that. Isn't Kill Bill, isn't the last shot of that, too, a driving shot of her?
Yes. Yeah.
Woman driving away?
Beatrix Kiddo.
That's her name?
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. It was like this thing where in the first film they would call her Kiddo, like Bill would call her Kiddo, and we all thought that it was a nickname, but then when the second film came out, we realized that her name's actually Kiddo.
Oh, very cool. I knew there was something with her name, but I thought she was just nameless in the first one. But no, okay, Kiddo. Nice. Yeah, so like I was saying, his shots were very interesting to me. One of the ones that stood out too was when Melanie and Lewis were first getting to know each other on the couch. in the frame, you only see one of the characters and it flips over back and forth between the two of them. And in the center, it was like anchored by Melanie's crossed legs. And they took up so much of the frame. And I thought that was an interesting like choice. I thought it was very cool. And he does a lot of things like that were surprising. Even like when Ordell shoots Beaumont, that's so far away. It's like across the street on a roof that you see it from. And you're looking at a parking lot, like very far away. And you don't get any close up of that or any of the gore, which I was expecting. Things like that make everything like interesting. And I know I say masterclass a lot, but it felt like a masterclass.
You don't even need masterclass anymore. You can just watch movies.
Don't pay for masterclass. Although I really did pay for it and I enjoyed it.
Well, that's how you know that it feels like a masterclass, because you've experienced both.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to dive into differences? Where do you think they veered? Yeah, did they veer away from the script very much in the film, do you think?
I don't think they veered away much between the two. I think it was more differences in the way things were acted, maybe, than I expected from the script.
Okay.
Kind of like Michael Keaton being Michael Keaton as Ray. Like in the scene at the precinct when I think he's angry at Jackie Brown at that point, and he's trying to figure her out and figure out what's going wrong after everything went weird with the money.
Right.
And he kind of climbs on top of the chair in this awkward way. I don't understand why anyone would do that, but I feel like he was being method at some point, and he really got into it. And maybe Quentin Tarantino was just like, go crazy. And he just did this.
Like Commander Riker?
No, it was different than Commander Riker. Because Commander Riker was just so tall. Jonathan Frakes is just so tall they can step over a chair, basically. But with Michael Keaton, it's like he was a gargoyle. He climbed on top of the chair and perched. Like he sat and like his legs were curled up and he was perching with his feet on either on the seat or on the armrest and sitting on the top. And it was not a chair that could support someone, I felt. But I think Michael Keaton's also a shorter person, so.
Really? He was a short Batman?
I think so. I mean, kind of like, the way Tom Cruise is short. You just don't notice.
Right, standing on boxes and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really see much difference either. I had like questions, which I actually haven't verified. There was one thing where I didn't notice in the script the scene where Lewis first meets Simone and she's like singing the Supremes to him.
When
that came on screen, I was like, I don't remember this being there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right.
So we got to meet Simone early on, which maybe that's why that was added, so we could be introduced to that character. Same with Sharonda. I didn't notice her in the script until she was actually just in the mall, but I feel like we saw maybe a glimpse of her earlier. And then was Ordell in the courthouse in the script when Jackie's bond was being determined? That's another one where I was like, what? You're sitting right there? Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was in the courthouse at that point, but in the film they make it too obvious. They make it so that Ray and his partner walk right past him. It's literally the guy you're looking for, and you're walking right past him. It'd be suspicious. Maybe they notice him, and it's supposed to be a thing where like we're just gonna pretend we don't see this guy. But it feels like they didn't notice him, and they like literally they must have like looked right at him as they walked by.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing I noticed, which was probably just the easier way to do it, was that Melanie and Lewis had sex standing up in the kitchen and not lying down on the couch. I was like, I'm sure like that was just like, I don't think we can do this lying down on this couch, so let's just do it standing. One of those changes that on the fly you just kind of have to do. Otherwise, it was like very there. And even the way that he wrote the script, you could tell he didn't necessarily say like close up of this person or whatever, but the way he wrote it, you could tell a little bit what those were going to be. And it was very mapped out in the script, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the consistency and how he did that seamlessly in the script, so that it wasn't kind of distracting to see close up, medium shot, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree, Becky. The way it was written, it definitely came across as the way it should be shot in certain ways, except for those moments that you mentioned that surprised you earlier, like when it was like a far away shot of Ordell killing Beaumont.
Yeah. So you mentioned one thing in the script that you really liked. That was Lewis, how he was described. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like he seemed like he's the kind of person who would be more comfortable in jail. Do you remember that?
Yeah, somebody who's more comfortable in a jail than in real life, for sure.
So my question was then, do you think De Niro's portrayal of that was accurate?
So this is the thing, and this is the issue that you had with Beguiled. I loved that there were these big name actors in this film, and I'm sure De Niro pulled off exactly what the script was describing, but I'm just seeing De Niro.
Right.
Yeah, I'm seeing De Niro, I'm seeing Sam Jackson, I'm seeing Michael Keaton, and that's why I think I have a hard time saying that I really love the film, because I'm more just excited that I'm seeing these actors than I am about what's going on. And so I don't know if he played that well. I didn't feel that. I felt like I'm watching De Niro be this weird guy. De Niro's always being weird guys.
But not always being like little roles like that.
Totally. He was totally kind of a side character in this one. I think that it's a testament to the fact that Tarantino had gotten to that level, that his name probably was able to bring in De Niro. His name, Pam Grier's name, Sam Jackson. De Niro's probably like, I'd like to be able to play with these people.
Totally. One performance note that I thought was great was when Melanie answers the phone the first time after Ordell's like, can you please answer it? And she's like, oh, fine. She picks up the phone and is just like, hello, it's for you, and puts it down right away.
Loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
In the script, there was like just a line of narrative in between hello and it's for you. So I thought she had a pause. Like I really thought she listened to the person, but man, that was so funny. Like I definitely laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Just her attitude the entire film was great. I think as much as I liked Pam Grier as Jackie Brown, I felt like I got to know Melanie really well. I think I got to know Melanie better. So you even got that point where you get to hear about her history, even though she's kind of a side character more than a major character. She's kind of like on the same level as De Niro in this in terms of playing a part. And even in the script, she gets this backstory about where she came from, what she experienced in Japan, and why she's here and her whole situation. So it was really cool.
It's true. Like, how much do we really know about Jackie Brown? We know, like, kind of her rap sheet, like why she works for a lower airline. And that's because she was, like, implicated in her ex-husband's criminal activity. And, like, apart from that, what else do you know? She likes the Delphonics.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I guess that's part of the appeal of her mystery is part of the appeal of her character, because you don't know what she's doing, what she has planned. Even though you're kind of like with her the entire time, or for like a big chunk of the film, it's still some mystery behind her, which is cool.
Yeah. Okay, actually, before we leave Melanie, Lou's killing Melanie. How did you feel about it?
Well, for one thing, that might have been a difference in the film and the script, or maybe I just read it differently in the script, is that I just thought that they were in a parking garage, not outside in the bright daylight, just him and her walking along, open to be seen by anyone if he makes this mistake. Like he turns around, shoots her. It's broad daylight. Anyone could have been around. I'm surprised that he would do that, but I guess it was an impulsive decision regardless.
Yeah. And did he have a silencer on his gun? I feel like not.
I don't think so. So, and I mean, he doesn't know it at the time, but there's literally cops all over that mall. So I'm surprised that no one kind of got to him. And frankly, the cops know that the trade is going on in the change room. They see that Lewis and Melanie run out. They know who these people are. So why didn't they follow them?
Yeah.
I don't get that. But yeah.
Is the mall riddled with cops, or is it just Darkus and Ray that are there?
There are other cops there for sure, because when she calls out for Ray, like a bunch of cops come.
Okay.
But I guess they weren't everywhere. I guess they all hung out at the food court, even though everything's going down at this one store.
Oh, cops and their donuts.
No. Okay, yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, in conclusion, I was just sad that Melanie died, but I knew it was coming. And yeah, it happened the way it happened in the script. And
I thought it happened so fast, too. I know in the car beforehand when she has, like, before the money swap happens, she has her feet on the dashboard, and he's, like, annoyed by it, and he's annoyed by how loud her music is. And she's like, you gotta lighten up. And then afterwards, he goes from, like, okay, like I'm a little bit annoyed to I'm killing you in like 15 seconds
Yeah.
of screen time. I was like, whoa.
0 to 60.
Yeah. I was also surprised by how quickly he was honest with Ordell about killing her.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. I guess he has a trust in that relationship.
Yeah, but he knows that Ordell killed Beaumont, and he knows that Ordell went to try to kill Jackie.
It was a dumb move on his part, for sure. Everything Lewis did turned out to be dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess he's not supposed to be a smart character.
Fair.
Just like a goon.
Yeah. His death was like the only part of blood that I got to like really see in it. You didn't even see Melanie's like shot move.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You at least get to see Sam Jackson go down, Ordell. I don't know if you get to see blood or anything.
Yeah, because the cops come out from the back room, right? And they shoot him.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's one thing that I thought was different. I thought that in the script, Ordell didn't actually have a gun, and Jackie Brown was just like pretending to cover herself so that like get this last guy out of the way so that he doesn't talk about the 500,000 that I've stolen myself.
Right.
But in the film, he definitely has a gun. I guess it makes sense that he has a gun, but I thought it made it seem to me like it was another clever part of her plan. I guess it still was, but it was just less clever than it could have been, maybe.
Would it have been clever, or would it have been like shitty? Like he didn't have a gun and you just made us shoot him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a defense for every cop these days anyway, so maybe not.
Yeah, I think in that situation, it would make sense that she would think that regardless. So if they came out and it ended up being that he didn't have a gun, she'd be like, well, he's got Max Cherry and it looks like he's got a gun. He's pulling something out of his jacket pocket. I mean, it's a logical assumption to have.
Absolutely. Just going to also mention performance-wise for Pam Grier as Jackie Brown. I know we don't have a lot of history for Jackie Brown, but in the script she is described as being like cool and level-headed the whole time, and that's kind of what I was expecting. But I enjoyed how after the money swap happens, she is like very nervous when she's talking with Ray at the precinct. And she's very nervous in Max Cherry's office waiting to see Ordell at the very end. So I liked that she wasn't like ool and cool the whole time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's true. She did not put the ool and cool. You're right. I'm glad you brought that back.
These are just like little tidbits.
Sure.
Now that I'm getting into when Melanie says she's talking about Ordell to Lewis, and she says he moves his lips when he reads. What does that tell you? Like what does that tell you? Like I know she's saying that he's stupid.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
true.
Is that a sign of somebody being stupid? I don't think so.
I think this is the thing where like I move my lips while I read.
Yeah, like sometimes, not always. But now I'm like aware of it.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things people say. Like this, he said in this film. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. I've never thought that somebody was stupid.
Okay, well I'm glad I'm not stupid or seen as stupid to people. I mean, at least for that.
At least
for everything else, fine. But at least for that.
You're good there. But
yes, that's clear.
You're on thin ice, Beck.
Definitely. I looked up the book just to see like a little summary of it, and it seems pretty much exactly the same, except for two changes. One is that her name is Jackie Burke instead of Jackie Brown.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that it's Ordell that forces Jackie to go get the rest of his money, whereas in the movie, it's Jackie that like hatches this plan and flips it on Ordell when he comes to shoot her.
Yeah, I think I like that better. I like that change. Yeah, because it gives her a lot more agency.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Ordell, as you know, he's supposed to be the enemy, but I feel Ordell also came across as like a bit dumb at times. Like I think he was just like he had to lose. If he didn't lose, it'd be like, how did this guy get away with everything?
Yeah. He's set up as dumb from the beginning in other people's eyes, like Melanie. Like undermines him over and over and over with about his like gun knowledge and about this video that they're watching and how Ordell doesn't actually know anything and he's just like repeating what he's heard from other people.
Yeah, totally.
That's well written. Everything in the script is like there for a reason and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Except maybe like I spent some time in Japan. I don't know.
You don't know about that? No?
I don't like it was fun, but I don't know like why I needed to know that.
No, I guess you didn't. I like that she had a backstory.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I wanted to just mention one scene in this film, and it came across in the script as well for me. It's when they discover the drugs in her thing of money, like in the envelope of money. They discover drugs, and they're at the precinct at this point. In the script, I was like, oh, they could have definitely planted that, and I thought it was ambiguous whether they did or not. And then later on, it's revealed that, oh no, it was supposed to be drugs that were being given to Melanie. But in the film, especially, Michael Keaton's character Ray takes the bag as Jackie Brown is being interviewed. He takes the bag, puts it under the table, and starts counting the money there, not in plain sight of like a camera or of Jackie Brown either. And he counts the money, and then he discovers the drugs there. And he actually does. But if that went to court, the pessimist in me would say, oh, they would probably just everyone would just trust the cops. But that seems really fishy. If I mentioned that in my testimony, like they put the bag under the table and that's when they discovered drugs, I'd be like, obviously the cops planted it.
Yeah, you definitely tell your lawyer that and they would be able to argue that for sure.
Yeah. And so I thought it was weird that was the way they went with that in the film.
Maybe to give Jackie like a bigger sense of surprise and to give her like a moment of thinking that the cops planted it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, and I just loved this one line. I don't remember if it was in the script. I think it was, but when Sam Jackson delivered it after killing Lewis, I just love that line. What the fuck happened to you, man? Your ass used to be beautiful. It's like, that's a great line. That character would definitely say that, and I just like that because I like the use of the term beautiful in an unconventional way, not to mean physically beautiful necessarily, but to mean just like as a person, as a character, you shone. You were like beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Now you dead.
That's a great line. He's a great writer of dialogue. And Sam Jackson's delivery is also amazing. The two of them together I really enjoy.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so it's that time then. Let's put our verdicts in. What did you like better, the script or the movie?
It's a hard decision for me, Beck, and I think we're going to be different on this one. I'm going to go with the script.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got too wrapped up in the actors in the film, and the film and the script were so close together that it's, they're both quality, and I really like the film, but I'm taking the script this time.
You like the script better. Okay. And I know you think we're going to disagree, but
Oh,
I think I actually agree with you. I mean, I love both of them. They're both great. Originally, I was like, I can't choose, but then I felt like that was a cop-out. And I just love the script so much. And without a script being this good, the movie wouldn't have been that great. I don't know that the actors brought it up. I think that they took the greatness and kept it great. So for that reason, I'm going to say the script as well.
Very cool.
Heck yes. All right, so that's it on Jackie Brown. Do you know, John, what we are doing next time?
I mean, I feel like we're taking the next step on a journey that we started with Jackie Brown, because Jackie Brown dealt with cops, murder, dangerous sides of life. We're going to take a step further into a bit of a darker realm and go with the David Lynch film Blue Velvet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen a David Lynch film. This will be exciting.
Did you ever watch Twin Peaks?
No.
No, okay,
When
yeah.
you say Twin Peaks, I assume it's a volcano movie.
I think I had the same feeling before I actually watched it, but it inspired a lot of people. It's a darker style of... It's kind of like a mystery, but with sci-fi elements that was released in the 90s originally. And people like Joss Whedon were inspired by it before Buffy came out and other things. So it's weird. It's a murder mystery where, like the whole town, it happens in a small town, and the whole town is broken up by this person getting murdered, and everybody's trying to figure it out. But supernatural elements are happening as well, and it goes in weird directions.
Okay, cool. So after this, I should also watch Twin Peaks.
I mean, sure, yeah. And then had an impact on a lot of things. So I think that'd probably be a reason to watch it.
Okay,
It's a weird series, and it actually had a follow-up recently. I think just in either 2018 or 2017, they released another mini-series for it, also directed by David Lynch.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so it's got some history.
Sick. I'm excited.
Nice.
Until next week.
What?